Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sports Ball with Palmer. Honestly, Royals playoff chances are done. Now it is time to start looking ahead to next year and the off season. What kind of moves do the Royals need to address? Uh, whether it's pitching, offense, what moves do they kind of need to address to make this team better next year and actually really be competing and making a playoff spot, making the playoffs, potentially winning the division. What kind of moves do they need to make? And hey, they made some history in their series against Toronto. So stay tuned for that. But like I said, their playoff hopes are gone. They were really, to me, ended when they played the Angels and lost that series. Losing to the Indians didn't help. Losing to the Phillies didn't help either. But now they really are gone. As they dropped this series to the Mariners, 2 out of 3, and now they did take the series against the Blue Jays, but it's kind of one of those too little, too late type of deals. But now at this point, the goal has to be at least finishing 500 and finishing above 500, finishing with a winning record in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2015. Well, actually 14, 15 because they had winning records and then were 516. But, since that stretch, even really from 13 to 15, they had winning records in all 3 years. So build on that, finish with a winning record this year, at least finish 500, but preferably finish with a winning record. But we'll jump right into their series against Seattle Mariners. They dropped game one, 12-5. I kind of don't know what's up with Waka. Uh, even in his start against the Blue Jays as well. But did not look good in either one. Started well, not in Seattle, but like he seems to like start decent and then everything just all of a sudden falls off. They did lose this game 12-5. Honestly, wasn't competitive and really wasn't competitive from the start as they had 10 of their runs by the end of the fifth inning. Kind of hard, especially with as inconsistent the Royals' offense has been. Hard to come back from that. And they didn't. I mean, yeah, they scored 5 runs, but really, other than that, nothing to write home about this game. I mean, Walker, again, struggled. Logan Gilbert on the other side, he got the win. He only gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3. But once again, inconsistent offense. I mean, again, you can look at Walker, obviously. Yeah, okay, the bullpen gave up 2 runs, but bullpen came in, and I mean, obviously at that point you're down 10-0, but to only give up 2 and kind of still kind of keep whatever slim chance you might have alive, but again, just another story of this year's team and this year's offense. They were able to bounce back in the second game and get the win 7-5. Started with a 3-run inning. And from there, I wouldn't say they cruised, but they did what they needed to do. Lucas Ercek is the one that did end up picking up the win. Cole Reagans made his return in this game. He only went 3 2/3. He was on a pitch limit, kind of like I thought he might be. He had a great first inning. I mean, really the only blemish, like the only bad thing that happened was he gave up a 2-run home run to Eugenio Suarez in the second inning. Other than that, he did look pretty good for coming back off the IL. So, uh, like I say, he's on an innings limit and fully expected that. Estevez got his 40th save of the season in this game. He was able to slam the door shut and at least set yourself up for the opportunity for a series victory then on Wednesday. But that would not come to pass as the Mariners shut out the Royals 2-0. Stephen Kolek, once again, I mean, again, inconsistent offense. Yeah, you scored 5, but some of those were kind of garbage time runs. You Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd scored 5, you'd scored 7. I mean, again, the offense was definitely a little bit better in that second game. But yeah, then you scored nothing. Kolek went 7 and a third, only gave up 1 run, had 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Once again, another really great performance from Stephen Kolek since being acquired at the deadline from the Padres. Luis Castillo was on the other side. He went 6 shutout innings, 3 strikeouts, no walks. He picked up the win. Andres Munoz picked up his 36th save as the Mariners again shut out the Royals 2-0 to clinch the series. They had won 8 in a row, 9 in a row coming into this. And of course, they extended that in the first game. But they are red hot right now. One of the better teams in the league. I kind of can't wait to see what they do in the playoffs. Maybe they can make a World Series run. We'll see. But hey, they came in and obviously did what they needed to do, and that was win this series. So then the Royals took on the Toronto Blue Jays for 3. And well, like I said, they made history. They won this game 20-1. They chased Max Scherzer in the first after a 7-run inning. I mean, Springer led off the game with a home run, but that was only Blue Jays run of the game. Yeah. 7-run first, and then they just kept piling on the rest of the game. What a win. I mean, but again, this comes into, because as we get into the other games, I mean, just inconsistent offense. It's been that way all year. But they made history. This is the 4th time in franchise history the Royals, I forgot to add the plus sign, but have scored 20 plus runs in a game. I mean, still, just to do that 4 times, because again, this obviously isn't football. Usually even the higher scoring games are still maybe like 10 to 15 runs. But yeah, to get up into the, I mean, obviously right at 20, but get up into the 20s, that's saying something. And then this is also the first time they scored 20 runs in a game since 2004. So way to go. They brought it. I mean, hey. And this was a nationally televised game on Apple TV as well. So to do that in front of a national audience was pretty sweet. But then and then Lorenzen went 7 2/3, only gave up a run, had 4 strikeouts, 3 walks though. But overall pretty solid in this game. I mean, gave you what you want, So then in game two, the Royals were able to take the series already. They won 2-1. Noah Cameron again was he's been better lately. I went 6 and 2/3, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. So Cameron was his normal solid self. Shane Bieber picked up the loss. He went 6 1/3, 2 earned, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Estevez got his 41st save. He came in, slammed a door. I mean, yeah, obviously he hasn't been, you know, Holland Davis, Herrera level, but Estevez has been pretty solid this year for the Royals. You know, I am just fine with bringing him back next year and letting him be the closer again for another year. Again, you don't look into 40 plus saves. So Estevez has been one of the bright spots on this team. I mean, the pitching has been pretty good, but again, I just feel like also you're seeing like when you've had to rely on the pitching, starting in bullpen and the offense is as consistent as they are, they're starting to wear thin because they are getting used way too much. So, especially at this point in the season, they're tired. I mean, everyone's tired, but not completely making excuses because they still got to go out and execute. But yeah, they're. I feel like there should be a conversation about Zoom won't, you know. But then in the final game, the Blue Jays do avoid the sweep. They win 8-5. And again, Walker, 2 starts in a row, just not. I get. Although this one he started off a little bit better, and then when he falls off fast and hard. Only went 5 innings, gave up 6 runs, 4 strikeouts, on a walk. Yeah, he did not have it. Offense was a little better when you scored 5 runs, but yeah, it's just kind of hard to watch this team right now. They are extremely frustrating. Hey, like the Chiefs, although if I wanted to watch really bad, I'd watch the 2023 Royals. But they did drop this series, so as of today, even still as of today, as I'm recording this Sunday afternoon before the Chiefs game on Sunday Night Football, because I'm trying to get this out because I am celebrating my friend's birthday tonight as well. So shout out my friend. And it'll still be 78 and 78 tomorrow as they are off on Monday. But they are now 78 and 78, so obviously right at 500. Again, finish at least 500 or finish above. Preferably, like not just like a game, like go 4-2 this week. Finish 82 and 80. And disappointing, but I'll call that good. But and then obviously today was their last home game on the season, which unfortunately they dropped, and they did finish 43 and 38 at home. Not as dominant as last year, but and then down the stretch, not as dominant as they had been in July and in August and the first part of September. So that's disappointing. But, they still finish with a winning record at home. And, I mean, there's a chance they finish above 500 because they're 35 and 40 right now on the road. But they would have to go 6-0 to finish above 500 on the road. But at least they're close. Like, again, I mean, hey, that's kind of similar. Like, again, okay, we had a winning record at home, which is one to do. and then you're just around 500. So they're a 500 ball club this year. So hopefully next year they're a lot better. But they, like I said, they are going on their final road trip of the season, as this is their last week because they're not making the playoffs. Final road trip, they will be taking on the Los Angeles Angels and the Oakland Athletics, both for 3 games. And as of this recording, uh, at least for Wednesday and Thursday's game, the Angels have not announced starters. The Royals have. The only starter, at least announced so far, is for Tuesday's game for the Angels, as it'll be Cole Reagans against Sam Aldegahari. Probably butchering that, but okay. That's the only pitching matchup, at least as far as the Angels. And then Kolek will go Wednesday, and Lorenzen will go Thursday. Now, the Angels did come into Kansas City and win 2 out of 3, which was incredibly frustrating, which hence that's where I go back to as where the season really kind of ended, or really felt like that was the beginning of the end. And then the final nails in the coffin was losing to the Indians and Phillies. And then now really the final nail in the head to losing to the Mariners. But again, I mean, the Angels are 70 and 86. Like, they're not a good ball club. Try and go in and return the favor and win 2 out of 3. If not, try and sweep. Again, with Cole Reagans, hopefully maybe he's a little bit more efficient because, like I said, he's on pitch count. But, we'll see. Hopefully he's able to go 4 or 5 innings this time. So I'm hoping to see Reagans be better. But again, Kolek and Lorenzen, especially Kolek, has been really, really good. So, but again, keep playing Cags, keep playing Jensen. Like, let these young guys play. Give Salvi some rest. Let him more DH. That's what I want to see. In injury news, Lucas Urseg is done for the season, unfortunately. Also, Waka went on the IL, so that could have been part of the issue. Obviously, with a week left, like, even if it's minor, well, definitely they've already announced Urseg is done for the season. But yeah, just keep. So then, looking forward ahead to the 2026 offseason, they need to find an outfield bat. Maybe 2, but you could bring Yastrzemski back on a 1-year deal. You could even bring Frazier back on a 1-year deal. Obviously, you'll have Cags. He's got nothing left to prove in AAA. Hopefully he can make some offseason adjustments and really has a breakout next year. Hopefully Garcia can continue this season he had this year. And build on that next year. Salvi is probably going to come back. I don't think he's going to retire. He'll probably come back for 1 more year. But I don't know. Like, you could get. I don't think he's a free agent, so he would be a trade candidate. Go get Taylor Ward from the Angels. I'd like to go get Schwarber, but he's more of a DH, and you're kind of already running into that issue with Cags, Yastrzemski, Carter Jensen, Vinny, Salvi, like, just to try and fit and get everyone in the lineup together. So probably, and he's going to command a lot of money. Like I said, Taylor Ward. Honestly, I would have to see who ends up definitely being a free agent and who they could afford. But they need to add an offensive bat. They need to address second base. Again, that could be Adam Frazier at least for a year. But they need to do something. The India move just didn't pan out like they wanted it to. Massey has struggled to stay healthy, and I like him, but even somewhat his offensive approach is a little bit frustrating at times. So I think they need to address second base as well. And then as far as pitching, I don't think they need to go out and add a starter because I mean, again, I would like to see Walk. I mean, Walker has been solid. It's really only been his last, and him going on IL. Maybe he was battling an injury and trying to fight through it, and it's like, nah, he just really probably needed to go on the IL. So we'll see what. But hopefully, Lugo is more like his 2024 self than 2025. You'll get Reagan's back. I mean, again, you got Berger, you got Kolick. Bubic was good until he got hurt, and then he's obviously when he went on the IL. What was it back in June? You know, it was season ending. Yeah, he had a couple rough starts, which obviously led to him going on the IL. So you'd have Bubic. You got other options of it, like obviously Noah Cameron, Lorenzen could potentially bring him back. I mean, you'd even be okay with letting him walk. I think they need to address the bullpen just a little bit. I'm not saying the bullpen's been bad, but they need to find honestly someone that can strike guys out. Like I like Schreiber, uh, doesn't have the best strikeout stuff. Estevez kind of Ursig, although he's struggled, hasn't had as many strikeouts this year as he did last year. Obviously, had Harvey hurt, but they need to find one, two guys that can strike people out. Like, because they're more contact. Like, I'm not saying like that's horrible, but there's times where like, okay, the bases are loaded. You don't really want them putting it in play, even if it's a soft grounder to someone on the infield. You want someone that can come in and strike guys out. So, I mean, like a Mason Miller, but obviously he was just traded. And I don't think they'd be able to get him. Would have to see potentially who's free agents, as we know more here in the last couple weeks and obviously into the playoffs. But that is it, at least as far as talking Royals. As we are in the last week of the season, the playoffs are very quickly approaching, and I'm excited. I'm still excited, even though the Royals aren't going to be in it. And granted, obviously, more often than not in my lifetime, the Royals haven't been in it. The Braves won't even be in it this year. But there's still some fun stories to look at, to watch. Uh, just quick look at the standings. As far as the AL, the Blue Jays and the Mariners actually did take over first. And then the Tigers are all in first. And then the Brewers, Phillies, and Dodgers are in first in the NL. But holy cow. The Detroit Tigers, like a month ago, had a massive lead in the division. And they have been playing horribly. They are now down to a 1-game lead over the Cleveland Indians. And that's kind of what makes it frustrating, too. It's like they had a 12 and a half game lead, whatever it was, 13, like over them just, 27, 28 days ago, and now it's gone. So that's what's frustrating is in this slide for the Royals, because they were hot coming into September. And then it's all kind of fell apart. Whereas if they had, maybe they'd end up getting the division. So that's really frustrating. But man, they're kind of sinking like the Titanic. They are 1-9 in their last 10 games. They are on a 6-game losing streak as they lost today. So that because they had lost 5 in a row coming into the day, and now they've lost 6 in a row. Whew. I kind of hope just because I can't stand Cleveland. So I hope they kind of have a massive series coming up uh, against Cleveland. That will start Tuesday. A 3-game series. Like they have a massive 3-game series. Like probably whoever. I mean, obviously, then there's still 3, and if we at least just jump ahead, Detroit will be taking on Boston, and Cleveland will be taking on Texas. I mean, Detroit definitely has a tougher series against Boston, but at least if you win this series, you give yourself a little bit more breathing room going into that last series. But man, Cleveland is so close on the verge of overtaking Detroit for the Central. So that's going to be fun to watch here down the stretch. Can Detroit hold on to the division lead? Obviously, they're not. Neither is really in danger. Because Houston's kind of falling off. So the losers trying to battle it out with Houston to make the playoffs. So, and I also love to see this. The New York Mets are choking again. They had a massive wild card lead, but they had a pretty decent size lead over the Cincinnati Reds, and they're now tied with the Reds going into the last week of the season. Oh, that warms my heart, especially as a Braves fan. Oh, darn. New York's choking again. Their greatest choke artist there is. So that'll be interesting to see down the stretch. Can New York hold on? Looks like the Cubs are going to hold on to the top spot. They are 3 up on the Padres heading into the last week of the season. They have already clinched a playoff spot, so the only teams to clinch their division are the Brewers and the Phillies right now. No one has clinched their division in the American League. So that'll be interesting to follow here down the stretch. But yeah, are the Reds going to overtake the Mets? In their last series, the Reds will be taking on the Brewers, so that'll be tough. But at the same time, especially with the Brewers already having clinched the division, they'll probably be resting. But before that, they will be taking on the Pirates. So, I mean, the Pirates can play spoiler a little bit, so we'll see. But if they can take care of business against Pittsburgh, well, Well, on the other hand, the Mets are taking on the Cubs, and obviously the Cubs want to secure the top spot, so they're obviously not going to lay down for the Mets. And then the Mets will be taking on the Marlins, who obviously wouldn't have lost nothing less than to play spoiler against them. So the Mets had the tougher road here this last week than the Mets do. So that's going to be fun to watch over this last week. And then finally in the West, the Padres and Dodgers. Man, I just want to see. Part of this is just my hate for the Dodgers. I'll openly admit that. But I mean, with 3 back and obviously 6 to play, it's gonna be tough. But that division's coming down to the wire. The Dodgers are playing the Diamondbacks, who also could potentially overtake the Mets for that last wild card spot. So they're obviously fighting for their playoff lives. The Dodgers have at least clinched. It's just a matter of, are they going to win the division once again, or is someone new going to win? But the Diamondbacks aren't going to lay over. They're fighting to try and squeeze into the playoffs here at the end of the season. And then they will be taking on I'm sorry. That's the Rockies that are taking on the Giants. Oh, where the heck are they? No, they were Seattle. That's the one series because again, they've overtaken, and just like the Dodgers, the Mariners are 3 up on Astros. And okay, there's an outside chance they could get the best record and have home field throughout the playoffs, as they're 3 games back of the Blue Jays for the best record. I mean, that could still be important to them. So just interesting, kind of even just looking at like the matchup. So it's like with the Reds, they got Pirates and Brewers, but the Brewers are probably going to be resting guys, especially their starters, to line up their rotation. Not obviously for the wild card, but for the divisional round. So I think the Mets are going to miss the playoffs. But and that would not break my heart. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sort of get the edge to the Padres. The Padres are playing Arizona. So I don't know. Both are kind of equally tough and different aspects. Both have to play the Diamondbacks. Dodgers will play them first, then the Padres will play them. And then Seattle and no, wait, I think I missed who they were playing. If I didn't say, I apologize. Padres are playing Milwaukee. So that's a little bit tough. Maybe Padres have a little bit tougher road. Like I said, I just would love to see someone different win the National League West instead of the freaking Dodgers for once. So we'll see. It's going to be a last fun week of the season, and playoffs are starting. Always love playoff baseball. Best, some of the best, like probably the best time of the year. So we'll see what happens here. But that is going to be it for this episode. Stay tuned for my upcoming episodes as I recap Mizzou's victory Saturday over South Carolina. Hopefully a Chiefs victory tonight. I don't know what I'm going to do if they lose. So hopefully a Chiefs victory tonight. And then college football, the weekend of college football, and the NFL action. So stay tuned for those. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And click that notification bell so you do get notified when I release new videos. So with that, thank you for watching. I hope you are having a great weekend and have a great Sunday night. Although I'm not gonna post this episode till Monday, so I should really say I hope you guys have a great Monday. So definitely hope you had a great weekend, but hope you have a great Monday. And as always, let's go